Are you in fashion?
This shop is really important because customers do want to be able to come in and experience exactly what you're trying to do.
Super fun, irreverent.
We don't sort of advertise and print or anything, it's literally us on Instagram.
You know, I'm selling to definitely a younger audience.
That's lovely, isn't it? So what do you invite people to come and wash their hands?
They say, what's it like? And you go, well, try it.
And yes, that's me washing my hands in a clothing boutique. My heels are killing me, but at least my hands are clean, and boy, do they smell good. Hi, I'm Sonia Sly, and this is My Heels Are Killing Me, a podcast that looks inside the fashion industry. And this week I'm shopping for answers, or maybe the key to survival at a time when brick and mortar stores all around the world are closing down. So my question in this episode is, are brick and mortar retail stores still relevant?
And then just down from that is Flotsam and Jetsam, really character-filled, really beautiful kind of independent retail along the strip.
Okay. So in terms of the shop front, And this is Simon Pound, Managing Director and co-founder of women's wear label Ingrid Starnes. And we're in Auckland. Dried floral arrangement.
Yeah, so that dried floral arrangement is from Nina for Flowers, who is Ingrid's cousin and just does the most magical flower arrangements. Yeah, there is the original tile on this store that when we moved in, we actually peeled off a layer of plastic that was obscuring it. And then we've got a big print on the window to announce the new season that's in store.
Along with a couple of tresses in the window. So then we move into the store, because this is all about the customer experience. So you've got this brass sort of overhang.
Yeah.
Are they real plants?
Yes, they are. They're beautiful Hoya that we got from our friend Xanthi White, who we've collaborated with a lot in the past, who's a wonderful landscape designer. We make fragrance and cosmetic goods as well. So we have these lovely hand wash that has the fragrance from our perfume in it. And so we actually installed a bench kind of set up with a big copper basin and a granite bench top.
And actually, does that basin work?
Yeah.
I'm just having to go over here and run the taps because it's not something you'd ordinarily find in a clothing store.
Yeah, you'll have to try the hand cleanser. Turn it off here if you like.
The allure of the beautiful hand basin was too much to resist in its stunning surrounds, but it does feel kind of odd, washing my hands in the middle of a beautiful clothing boutique. But I guess in today's retail environment, a point of difference is everything. And diversifying is also something that many brands are doing in order to provide an offering and way for people to buy into a brand through lifestyle products, smaller accessories, and in this case, beautiful toiletries. Okay. I'm getting the full Ingrid Starnes experience here.
We made this perfume a few years ago because we love perfume.
Where are these produced?
Yeah, we make these in New Zealand from oils that come from overseas.
Adding those other products, what does that do for the average person kind of walking in? Are you likely to find that if the clothes aren't right, then you're direct them right here to the perfume, or how does it work?
Maybe, but we kind of just made it because we really love perfume. It was a really fun process, and then we found one that we really loved. So we made the soap because that was a really lovely way to be able to test the fragrance if you weren't getting a bottle of it. And then from the soap it was really natural to make a hand cream, and then from the hand cream it was really natural to make a liquid one. So we just kind of filled out the story of it as we went, but in a very hard-nosed business decision. And with the candles,
The gigantic candle.
That's a gigantic candle.
Wow,
yeah.
Okay.
We used to make that with a place called Studio Ceramics, who were a ceramic studio where a lot of the kind of knowledge of Crown Lynn ended up. And so the last mould maker who was working at Crown Lynn actually cast the relief for us. But they've since gone under, and so now we have got these beautiful candles and candle boxes and no way to make them anymore.
Oh, yeah, okay. Around the walls are large editorial-style campaign images from the current and previous collections. The Ponsonby store isn't particularly big, yet it's not overcrowded. It's inviting, intimate, unintimidating and elegant. There is a thoughtfulness in design and quality of craftsmanship. And like the changing seasons collections, the decor changes along with it.
That wall changes colour with the seasons. The curtains change.
Do you think there's an expectation from customers that the interior should change? Or do you think it should be something that they kind of
don't obviously notice.
It's more for us than anything else, I think, to keep things fresh and to match the season's clothes.
Do you look to what retailers are doing overseas in terms of like how they're creatively setting up their spaces to kind of like say reinvigorate the way you guys think about your space?
Yeah, we travel a lot and see a lot of great retail around the world, and that's always really inspiring. I think you're not just in your own home market anymore, because people are following on their Instagram the best international labels and the best of your contemporaries, and so you are living in a very global environment, and so it certainly matters what people are doing overseas, and you don't just have to peg yourself to the best people around you, but you have to be trying to do what you do as well as you can to that like international standard.
What have you found that has been the success of Ingrid Starnes and the physical stores at a time when some stores are going into liquidation, like, you know, Andrea Moore and Topshop's shut down?
We're quite different businesses to both of those, but this shop is really important because customers do want to be able to come in and experience exactly what you're trying to do by having the whole collection available, by having the imagery we make, by having kind of the plants and the fittings that you want. You tell that whole story of your brand, and if people like it, they've got a place to really experience that.
What is the Ingrid Starnes experience online? How does that correlate to what you see around in the physical store?
Oh, it's all totally consistent, because most of what you see are pictures of the clothes and pictures that we make for the campaigns and the like. So yeah, it's one experience the whole way through.
After 8 years in the business, Simon has noticed a change in consumer habits. It's reflective of what's happening in technology and the digital world that's become so much part of our everyday life.
When we started, I think people went shopping a lot more by actually physically going to a shopping district. So if you had a big occasion in your life coming up, you might go to Ponsonby and hit the streets and try and find that dress that you wanted. And I think that the way people shop now, and this isn't everyone, but you know, we've observed it in quite a few of our customers, is that people are kind of always shopping. They don't hit the shops just to see what's out there. They first see things that they're interested in on their Instagram or their Facebook, and they might be on the bus or at home in bed, and then they see something they like, and they'll jump on the website and they'll have a look at it, and then they might head into the store to touch and feel it if they need to, in a really purposeful way. So they kind of plan a visit and they have a real goal in mind, and so then they either buy it then, or they think about it and then buy it online later, or they wait till it goes on sale and grab it then. And so the store is still like this really important central home for retail, and it's a place where people can come and meet your great team and have a great experience and get recommended things, and it's the place where the stock lives and where e-commerce orders are sent out of, and it's the place where the e-commerce is updated and the like, and all of your Instagram content is sent out from. But it's not just bricks and mortar, and it's not just online. They really work together.
Until recently, Ingrid Starnes had 3 stores in Auckland until their Newmarket boutique burnt down, but it doesn't appear to have set them back. Now, what the brand has going for it in spades is quality of construction, design and fabrication, plus local production. And with a global shift in thinking that demands transparency in the production process, this is key for Ingrid Starnes.
This is Nicole and this is Ingrid over here. This is
Hi.
Sonia from Radio New Zealand.
How are you going?
Hi, yeah.
So this is the sampling room, and so Ingrid and her team have they're just finishing the process of sampling the next season, so it's all been super hectic in here. And so this store has a really great character, and having the workroom and having Ingrid behind the store means that she's able to talk with customers all day, hear what people are saying about the clothes, and that all feeds into making something that people are looking for.
Do you think people want more of a personal touch?
Well, for some people, I think that's really great. I mean, the reason that you shop at a brand like Ingrid Starnes is because you care about local production and beautiful materials and beautiful cut. And so knowing that there's actually the designer working here and connected to the store is really part of that. Like, people do buy it for that connection, I think.
Ingrid Starnes has been in business for 8 years with 16 collections behind them, but it's no mean feat for a label that launched just as the global financial crisis hit.
Yeah, we didn't know any better, really, and when we launched we shared retail in order to, because retail is such an important part of knowing your customer, finding out what they like, being available for them if they need to, quickly grab something before a big event. Yeah, and to be able to tell your story. And so we always wanted to be able to do that. At first, we shared the store with Miss Crab over the road. And that was fantastic because then you share energy and you do events together, and it's a really great way to get in front of people.
So what's the thinking for Ingrid's Downs as they make their way to the future?
Any retail store that's got its own point of difference, that really knows what it's trying to do and sell something that is differentiated, has a future. And so as long as you have beautiful experiences and really care about your customers and giving them the kind of clothes that they want and have a strong point of view and really stick to it, then there's room. People love shopping. People are always going to love shopping.
Who is the current Ingrid Downs customer?
A wide variety of great Ingrid Stance customers, but something that's kind of common across them is that they care about the quality of the clothes, they care about the aesthetics, they care about the exclusivity of them, and that they aren't some kind of generic product. They know the impact of their decisions, which you don't always know when you purchase from big international brands. They care about beautiful things, and so we try to make things that they care about.
With this sort of type of retail, there's like an undertone of sort of conscious consuming, which is a focus. It's just very inherent with sort of working with small-scale brands as opposed to sort of being like a fair trade store.
This is
Prague. I'm the owner of Precinct 35, a homewares and gallery store here on Gusney Street.
in Wellington.
We've been here since April 2015, so just coming up 3 years. The fact that I'm dealing with each maker of these sort of brands makes it very sort of conscious and ethical. On a selling perspective, it's a point of difference that customers and my staff and myself can sort of relate to.
As I walk into Precinct 35, I move through a cafe and right at the back of the store is a gallery space. The store in itself is spacious, with well-curated products that have a Scandi feel about them. And I think if I was to purchase something from here, I'd feel kind of wholesome about it.
Well, the best sort of label is kind of a lifestyle store. Like, you are trying to sort of promote a certain way of living. That's why we do sort of stock a range of ceramics to tableware to clothing to soft furnishing. You know, everything kind of is quite interrelated. Yeah, which is kind of strange in a way. And I guess for New Zealand, it is quite like a
almost Danish sort of.
Yeah, definitely that sort of art of slow living, I guess. So that's why I try and sort of invoke a bit of a gallery feel to it. So each object has a bit of space to breathe and like it's coexisting space. As you can sort of currently hear, like there's that clinking of cups. It's a diffuser for like a retail space. With retail, you kind of feel like you're encroaching. You're sort of tiptoeing around the space. But we do also run a gallery as well.
Because, I mean, even with, and it even has that hollow, echoey sound that a gallery would have.
Yeah. So at the moment, we've got a really good show by Billy Cooley. She's a young Hawke's Bay-based artist. Yeah, she's 23, which is great, and that's what we sort of generally try and sort of focus on with this gallery space. A lot of young, emerging artists. In this day and age, you need to sort of offer something over and above just a traditional retail experience to sort of exist. You're competing with literally
everyone.
It's
so you've got literally everything here.
Yeah. So on that like on a risk perspective. The more you offer, the better.
We'll just pop out here because you've got quite a few customers coming in now. I mean, with the likes of Instagram as well, kind of like the filters of like lifestyle and fashion and the fusion of art, and amongst all of that has amalgamated as well. And coming in here doesn't feel that foreign because you see those worlds sitting side by side through social media.
For us, it is literally our biggest channel of like engaging with customers, new and existing. We don't sort of advertise and print or anything. It's literally us on Instagram. It works in both ways of sort of engaging with customers and also new brands as well. It's literally like an online gift fair these days. Like you find new makers and you sort of meet people and you swap products, and it's revolutionary to sort of the impact that sort of had on small businesses like this.
Fashion and what people want, it kind of changes pretty quickly, right? Yes. So how do you keep up with that kind of pace?
With us, we're trying to sort of be as less seasonal as possible. Like buying once, buying well, so tries to go against the idea of fast fashion. I mean, you see it in garments, you see it in, like, whether it's homewares or whatever, that's embodied in trying to sort of produce as an offering.
And
so, we've stocked some of the same things for the last 3 years,
Wow.
which is awesome.
And it's turning out to be a successful strategy?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, still here. So,
Yeah.
it's,
And what's the clothing label that you stock?
Clay, which is the brand by Kirsty McClay, based up in Auckland. She does a range of jackets, sort of like unisex jackets for us.
Oh, and they're
which are really
kind of,
nice. And they're sort of canvas work jackets, which are really nice.
They're actually quite beautiful.
Her daughter Hannah actually sources a lot of the canvas from India. We were her first stockist in New Zealand, and to date, her only stockist here in Wellington, which is
And
great.
does being exclusive make a difference?
Oh, I think so. You definitely kind of works hand in hand with us sort of being kind of quite small and working with smaller scale brands that they don't really want to take on sort of several stores and brands. They just want to fit into someone else who fits their sort of offering as well. So
And do you worry about what's happening in the retail environment?
personally here in Wellington and on the street Ghuznee, we've seen a huge growth with new spaces opening, like small sort of boutique offerings with Ina across the road, Corley, Dilly Ponies. Now Service Depot's just opened up, so there is like a bit of a retail hub here, which is great. And the more you're sort of known as a destination shopping area, the better. I'm pretty confident in what we're trying to do and offer, and think the Wellington market responds reasonably well to it. But in saying that, there's always more avenues for growth, and we're always looking to explore those, which is exciting for the next couple of years ahead.
Hi, I'm Rose from Muma. Muma is an online store selling jewellery and other things that women like, essentially. It's been running since June last year. I've done some pop-ups prior to that. I run things out of my house and it's great. Okay. I love it.
What's the reason for not opening a bricks and mortar store?
Because I've seen other places open and close. I've looked at the overheads, and I actually am also a graphic designer, and I like the idea that I can keep running these two businesses parallel. I don't have to employ lots of people. I just don't have those overheads.
What are the advantages, do you think, of having just an online store?
Online, the marketing is key. Social media is key. I probably expect that I would spend a lot more time on that than someone with a brick and mortar store. You just don't have that foot traffic. I'm selling to definitely a younger audience, and Instagram's been key for me in getting the word out there. And Instagram, I think, works a little bit like word of mouth. You get people promoting you and mentioning you and tagging you. That's the way to go, is really getting a buzz going.
Okay, and just a stone's throw down the road is a store called the Service Depot. Now, they actually used to be probably a couple of blocks away, and they've shifted to what is now a bit of a hub, I guess, on this side of Wellington. But actually, there's a whole bunch of cool new shops here.
Hey, nice to see you.
You too. The new shop's looking great.
Yeah, thanks.
So it's exciting.
Yeah, we love it. Yeah.
This is Angela Gordon from Wellington Boutique, the Service Depot.
We're just changing through into new season. All the collections are just starting to come through now, which is cool. 69 denim.
And that's a US brand.
Yeah, the LA base. Super fun, irreverent. Yeah.
Lots of sort of oversized denim, exaggerated shapes. And what was it about that brand that particularly caught your eye?
Her cuts are amazing. They're oversized, but they're really well considered and thought through. It's also that whole non-gender, non-demographic take on fashion, which I really, really appreciate about what they do, because that's a big thing for them,
Service Depot has been one of the stores in Wellington that has really supported a lot of new designers.
Yeah, absolutely. From the beginning, always looking for new little labels to pick up. We've got our sort
And
of
what sets the store
suite
apart
of
is that it
designers
stocks
that
edgy
really work for
garments
us.
from
That's the
designers
basis.
including
Jimmy D, Layla, Nomdi, Otsu.
Brands that have been around for a bit, so they've had time to kind of develop their aesthetic.
Yeah, they're really strong. Every season their collections will just be really strong, really solid. The design work's really spot on.
The Service Depot has been around for how long?
8 years now. Yeah, so we opened in Lombard Street in a little warehouse there, and then we moved to Wakefield Street after about 2 years, I think. So we've been there up till now.
So what was the decision to move from the other space? And the other space that was on
Wakefield
Street.
Yeah.
That featured in
Creative Shopkeeper. Yeah.
The Creative Shopkeeper is a book that explores unique creative retail spaces around the world.
Yeah, that was a really fun project working with Lucy Johnson out of London. She's curated a number of books, an interesting cultural writer. So we had to sort of pull lots of information and images and things from our archives about lots of events that we've done, and she was focusing on our windows and how we've used the windows and what we've done with that in the store.
what were you doing with the windows at the time?
Different installations we've done, runway shows, live to air music.
Has the store been for you about reinvigorating the market for your own, enjoyment, or
Absolutely, yeah. It's all about just working with the people that we love. Most of the designers are all good friends, and having fun with all of that, bringing it together and having a space to be able to, play around and do all those things.
Because the space has always been a bit more like a gallery.
I've always tried to set it up so it's had versatility so that we can do different types of events in the store, have art installations, music, whatever it is that is sort of relevant for the moment.
And that's going to be the same for this store as well?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, excited about the windows here. Like, we've got so much space.
All the racks are on wheels, so you can reconfigure them.
Totally.
Like.
Yeah.
What's the theme behind the fit out, or what was your vision for it?
Just working with the space in terms of it's really light, it's really open, keeping it really versatile with being able to move it around. And
there is a lot more light in here than your previous store, which had a sort of darker, moodier kind of feel.
But I feel like this store's a bit moodier, even though it's a lot lighter. I don't know why. It's funny.
I mean, actually entering the space and just hearing the kind of music, it definitely sets a specific kind of atmosphere the minute you walk in.
Yeah.
Like you are walking into a scene or a situation that has its own signature.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty special that you were included in the Creative Shop.
Yeah, it was. I was amazed. I mean, I was really just so humbled because there was some really beautiful stores in there that I really like personally. So I was like, wow, this is amazing.
Only New Zealand stores.
Yeah. And I still actually haven't managed to find out from Lucy how she tracked us down. So, yeah.
It says something about your ability to keep things fresh and interesting in a marketplace that is kind of changing dramatically.
Yeah, we just do what we do. Our designers are really strong.
Creatively, it seems like it's just natural for you to want to do things differently.
It's just nice and organic, Every season things are changing, and, having a new space is great. Just sort of being excited about, what we can do here.
That was Ange Gordon from Wellington Boutique The Service Depot. You also heard Rose from online store Mooma, Prak from Precinct 35, and Simon Pound from Ingrid Starnes in Auckland. And you've been listening to My Heels Are Killing Me, presented and produced by me, Sonia Sly. And this episode was engineered by Jason McClelland. Now, the book mentioned in the podcast is called The Creative Shopkeeper by Lucy Johnston. It's full of beautiful imagery from independent retailers around the world, and yes, includes the Service Depot. You can find a link to the book on our RNZ My Heels Are Killing Me page, and we'd love for you to subscribe to the podcast either on Apple Podcasts, formerly iTunes, Podbeam, Stitcher, Radio Public, or wherever you get your podcasts.